Hello everybody, it's Marie here, and before I start the video, I just wanted to announce that I am currently hosting a Draw This in Your Style competition on my Instagram. My Instagram is Olive Striped Socks, as shown on screen, and the piece that I will be using for this contest is shown on screen currently, so I would really appreciate it if you consider entering. All the information is on my Instagram. Just a heads up, you do not have to draw her as a human. I understand that is very difficult for some people, so feel free to draw her however you like. Thank you so much for listening, and let's get on with the video. Alrighty, so I do apologize in advance. This is unscripted because I didn't come around to writing a script, so this is unscripted, and also you might hear some noises in the background. People are currently outside my house doing yard work, so you might hear the occasional lawnmower or weed whacker. But so I want to do this as sort of a series. Like, I want to upload one video of me doing like a speed paint commentary thing like this once per week. The first villager I've decided to humanize is Lily, and she's actually one of my favorite characters. I really like her. I have her on Pocket Camp, but I do not have her on New Horizons. I really want her on New Horizons. She's so cute. But for her design, I wanted to try to stick as closely as possible to her Animal Crossing design. I wanted to try to keep her as like frog-like as possible, if that makes sense. Like, I made her face very frog-like. I sort of made the nostrils very low on the face, and the mouth was very curved, sort of like a frog. I don't know if that makes sense, but I wanted to make her look like a frog. And for her actual clothing, I did want to keep her little pineapple dress that she was wearing. I thought it was so cute, so I decided to keep it. I also sort of wanted to give her like the appearance of like a troublemaking little village girl, if that makes sense. Sort of like give her like a childish sort of appeal, so I gave her a little band-aid above her nose because Lily seems like she would have sort of like a very adventurous attitude. I feel like Lily, I feel like Lily has a very like, not necessarily troublemaking, but she can get herself into trouble, and she loves to go on little adventures and stuff like that. So I made her very childlike, and I wanted to give her, obviously the little bandage because she's an adventurous little goofball. Along with the band-aid, I decided to give her a little ahoge. I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's a hoge. But just to give her more of like a childlike little, just like a little cutesy little anime kind of feel. For her coloring, I kept very strict to her original color palette. I think the only time I went off palette was for the skin tone, and the skin tone I tried to keep very light, just to match the little white she has under her chin. So yeah. And again, I think I said this earlier, I wanted to keep the pineapples on the dress, so I tried my best to put little pineapples on her dress and just make it as like cute and fun as possible and keep it as close as possible to her original design. That's really it for the coloring. So for the shading, what I usually do for shading is I like to take the base color and select it in a separate layer, and to take sort of like a gradient tool and use a darker a darker color to fade in for hair, and I usually do that all around the hair, and then I outline it in places where it would be typically darker with a darker color. So here's me doing that. And then any moment here you should see, once I'm finished with that, I like to take a lighter color and add in little squiggly highlights just to make the hair seem more shiny and slick, rather than just dark. Because, you know, I want to break up the colors a little bit, so I usually add some sort of shine to it. Now for the facial shading, I usually try to keep it darker around the nose and cheek area just for like a little blush effect. I usually use a gradient up towards the hair, and I use the same sort of airbrush on the character's ears. Then I go in and airbrush the fingers, shoulders, and wrists and elbows. So yeah, just to try to keep it simple. You know, I don't want to have too much shading because it could be a little distracting. And then for the clothes, I usually just airbrush in where it would be darker. Since there aren't really any wrinkles on her clothes, I normally would take a darker color and go over that. But there weren't really any wrinkles in her clothes just because I was doing a bust drawing, so yeah. Now for the line art, I usually don't like to stick with black line art just because I think it takes away from the color of the piece and it makes it seem more dull. So usually what I do is I use a dark blue or a dark red or something like that, and then I go over it, and places where lines overlap, I recolor it with another color based on whatever color the piece is. So like for hands, I usually go with a dark brown, or like basically anywhere there's skin. Clothing, I usually do the color of the clothes. For Lily's hair, I used a green, so obviously places where the hair overlaps would be a dark green. Yeah, and I added little pink cheeks just to try and keep it as close as possible, once again, to her Animal Crossing design. And yeah, here's me just adding the background. And yeah, for my pieces, I usually do like to outline it in white just to draw more attention to the character, because I usually don't like to do backgrounds. I just do like a flat or a striped background. So I like to outline the characters in white just to draw more attention to them. So yeah, I know there's easier ways to do that rather than just drawing, but I usually post these on Instagram later, and I don't know, I don't like to have to merge all the layers together and then like recolor them or whatever you have to do to make it more perfect. But yeah, here is the finished piece. I have done actually a couple more of these. I've designed both Marina and Tangy. Those are both on my Instagram. Once again, olive striped socks. I'll leave a link in the pinned comment and in the description just so you can check it out if you want to. And yeah, consider subscribing, because next week I will be redesigning Raymond. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to be excited for that. So make sure to stick around, like if you enjoyed, and feel free to comment another villager you think I should redesign. I think this was really fun, and I want to upload a video like this at least once a week. And yeah, see you next time. Bye-bye.